Hi and welcome to Stamp with Angela. Today I'm going to show you the exciting new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So this is Stampin' Up's very own machine that cuts and embosses. So I'm going to show you a few great features about it. So when you get it, you will need to add the handle to it. It is not attached, so it makes it easier for transporting and things. So you'll get these things in your pack. So if you have a look in here, there is one part which is flat. So as you slide it on, see where the flat bit is and line it up, because otherwise if you try and put it on anywhere else, it will not slide in. Then you need to put the washer onto the screw like that, and then put it into the handle and tighten it up. And that will keep the handle in place, and then later on if you need to transport it and you need to take the handle off, you can just easily unscrew it. So keep this Allen key handy. So when you have finished tightening it, there we go, you've got this little dust cap to put over it just to keep it all nice and tidy and in place. So do keep this handy in case you need to use it later. Alright, now I'll show you this exciting new machine. So it's nice and sturdy. It folds up like this, which makes it easier to store, and you will notice that it's got some nice grips on the bottom to keep it nice and sturdy when you're using it. Alright, so to use it you need to open the platform, so just pull them down like so, and then it's ready to use, and it comes with the plates that you need. So you may be wondering, what do I use what for? And that's what I'm going to show you today. So it is written on this platform to remind you, but I will go through it with you. So if you're wanting to do some die cutting, you will need plate number 1, and then this thin plate as well, number 2, and then you'll need at the bottom a cutting plate. So you can see I've used this one before because it's got some cuts and things in it. Then you can put your paper and your dies down. So I'm going to cut a couple of things to do with the dove here. So put them in place. So you want to try and cut it different places, different times, so you're using it all around your plate. And then I'm going to put a plate on top. So just to remind you, there's a 1, then a 2, then a 3, your cardstock and die cut, and then a 3 on the top. Now there is a magnetic plate, but unfortunately I didn't order that yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So, but if you order it as is, then it's ready to go. All right, so here we are. Whoops. So nicely die cut. All right, now embossing. There's a few different folders, so I'm going to show you what you need to do to emboss. So when you're embossing, you do not need this extra number 2. So put number 2 aside. Yes, you do start with number 1. If you have a standard embossing folder, so that's usually your thin ones like this, then you are going to need, like we used to with other embossing machines, so it's a 1 and then a 3 underneath, then your embossing folder and a 3 on top. So put, whoops, the closed end in first. Don't push it right up to the top because there'll be a line, so just have it down a little bit so you don't get that non-embossed area, and then wind it through. So that is your standard, whoops, so I didn't want to have my hand in the way, but I need to. Well, it's nice and easy to use. There we go. And it gives a nice impressed image. Look at that, lovely. Okay, now if you have Stampin' Up's 3D embossing folder, you will need to use, with the 3D embossing folders you use a number 4. So this is the number 4, quite different. So this one here is a 3D embossing folder. So I'll put my cardstock in. So again, we've got a 1 at the bottom, then this, and then a number 4. So number 4 looks quite different. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Very cool. Very nicely embossed. Now, what is not mentioned on here is if you've had an embossing folder for a while, like this one, and it is really thick. So this was one of the first 3D embossing folders that came out by Sizzix. So if you look at the thickness of those, I don't know if you can tell, but this one here is a lot thicker than that. So when you had the big shot, what you had to do was use the this one here, number 1 again, use this, and this time put a cutting plate on top, number 3, because this is not as thick as this one. Okay, so when it's the old style really thick 3D embossing folder, it's a 1 embossing folder and a 3. So these are ones that Stampin' Up used to sell a little while ago. Very nice. So just to remind you, when you are cutting with dies, use the number 2 plate and use 2 cutting plates, 2 3 plates with your dies in the middle and moving it around, so over time it's cutting all over the plate. When you're embossing, you do not need number 2. Take number 2 away. If it's a standard embossing folder, it is a 1, a 3 embossing folder and a 3. If it is a 3D embossing folder, it's a 1, it's the embossing folder, and you're going to use this number 4 plate. If you have the old style, very thick 3D embossing folders, you're going to use the 1 at the bottom, followed by the embossing folder, and then a number 3 cutting plate. So I hope you find that really useful. Now you're thinking, okay, I finished with my big shot, what do I do now? So you need to fold it up. So just very carefully, you can do it together or separately, fold the 2 sides in, click, click, like that, and then you can store it away. So it's made of very solid construction. So it is a high quality product, and it will give you a lot of long life of cutting and embossing. So if you would like to know more or you'd like to purchase one, please feel free to contact me, Angela Palmer at Stamp with Angela. If you have any more questions about it, please ask, and hopefully when I get that magnetic plate soon, which I'm really looking forward to, I'll be able to show you how to use that as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.